Today I'm going to teach you how to make basic hollandaise in the traditional form. In here I've already started my reduction of the cider vinegar and the peppercorns. Over here I have a pot. Notice that the water is not boiling, but it's just coming up to the top. We're at about 200 degrees and we don't want to go too much. Over this I'm going to put my 3 egg yolks for this recipe. My reduction looks like it's about ready to go, and what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to add my lemon juice, and I'm going to add just a little bit of water. And I can add a little more water later. Now what that does is it cools down the reduction just enough so when I pour it in, I don't pour it into my egg yolks and they all of a sudden start to cook. Because if you think about it, if you took the actual egg yolks that are sitting in there and poured boiling liquid on them, it would start to cook them immediately. So this is one of the things that we want to do, is just by starting to cook, it'll start to froth up. As that foam comes up, it'll start forming this ribbon stage. What we want to watch for is the sides. We want to watch the different areas for it to be cooking. Now, I'm going to whisk vigorously so that you can see down in there it looks liquidy. If I was to stop right now and you would look at it and you'd go, well, it's light and fluffy. It doesn't quite form a ribbon, but if you actually look at it, you can still see the liquid right there on the sides and in the middle, which signifies to me that it's not cooked yet. So longer cooking is needed. The other thing is the egg yolks will start to bind up. They'll start to tighten up. And what we're actually doing is we're forming an emulsion. So with this emulsion, we've taken egg yolks that are liquid, and they're a liquid fat, and we're going to add another fat to it of a different viscosity. And so when we do an emulsion, the comparative that I can think of is I have a little jar here, a little to-go container that you can see where I have water on the bottom and the oil on the top. But what we're actually doing is that similar purpose of taking two different things and incorporating them together to where they become emulsified, or it'd be like suspending that oil in that water. Now, right there, I turned my heat up a little too much, but right there you can see that the egg yolks are light yellow, they're frothy, and they have kind of a ribbon to them. And so at this point I'm going to remove it from the heat, or actually I can turn the heat off and use that bowl. I'm going to add my clarified butter. Now my clarified butter, I chose to go with an unsalted butter, so on the top of this butter I don't have any salt, and I've already removed the milk solids from the bottom. So in starting the emulsion, the one thing that we don't want to do is drop all the oil in at once. And if you look, slow motion, I'm just going to show you where you can see just those drips on the top there. That's literally all I want to do in the beginning, is just to start dripping it in and start the emulsion. Start the actual enrobing of the oils together and suspending it. And you'll see the farther I get along, the faster I can add my clarified butter. Now if this was the cold process, if we did this cold, we could take our RoboCoupe or a food processor and actually take and put the egg yolks in it and use a canola or an olive oil and do it cold. But we have to work quickly because the speed of the actual RoboCoupe is very quickly, and it will actually create friction, and the friction creates heat, and it would cause our sauce to break. But if we did this cold and just changed out the oils, we would have a basic mayonnaise. And so you would have the egg yolk emulsion with the oil, the canola or the olive oil. So you notice I put it back on the heat. One of the things you want to be careful of is egg yolks are potentially hazardous food. We want to make sure we keep this sauce hot, but not too hot, to keep it out of the temperature danger zone. So I'm going to dribble in this oil. Notice I'm at a kind of a slow drizzle to a steady stream now, and going from that steady stream adding it just a little bit quicker. So at this point you can tell I'm just pouring it straight in, and you look at the actual sauce and it becomes thick. And it's over the heat. One of the things that's unique about that is if you think about it, you have something like an egg yolk that's liquidy, and then you have an oil that's a liquid, and to take those two and to combine them together where they become thick. Now at this point what I want to do is I'm going to classically finish it with just a sprinkle of cayenne pepper. Not too much, we're cooking for the masses. It's not one of those things of I really like spicy food, so I'm going to throw a lot in there. It's that we want to make sure that we take and cook for everyone's taste. The other thing we're going to do is just add a tiny bit of salt, because we did do a non-salted oil or a non-salted butter. And then I'm going to taste it. Now, tasting it, tastes great. The lemon tastes great to it. All the acids are in line. It has a good consistency, and it's ready to incorporate whatever I want into it. And as you can tell, it has a very nice ribbon stage to it. It has a very nice sauce consistency. Remember to keep this at the proper temperature, so that way the local health department won't get you when they come in for inspection. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out our other videos at ccskillcenter.com.